Hello there! What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to be bringing to you a Legion build using Death Troopers and trying to reduce a little bit of their costs while still trying to take really good advantage of them. So I'm going to start us off with, we're going to be using Tabletop Admirals, great list builder. I'll put a link to this in the description below. I am going to use Krennic as our commander. He obviously goes really well with the Death Troopers, in fact that he can activate one right away, plus a lot of his command cards are going to synergize with them. The suppression command card is going to really work with the Death Troopers that have a natural way to kind of shed that suppression, so he's just going to be really good in this particular aspect. And another thing is, with his 1-pip, we're going to have a little bit of a diversity on the types of units we're using as well, so give us even better battlefield control. That being said, let's jump right into the Death Troopers. I'm going to run 2 units of Death Troopers here. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the config. And I know the config is really nice. You have, you've got 8 points for 2 different types of weapons, but I think the 1 to 4 is definitely the better of the 2. But it's also it's an exhaust, and so that's, while it is really good, I'm going to try to use these guys without this one, especially because you can put the DLT-19 Delta in there, which is still range 4 and even better. You're going to get 3 dice, 2 red and a white, so you're kind of even getting a better range 4 attack with this person. So I don't know if you, obviously the config would stack with this guy, and you can have the other 4 Death Troopers roll at range 4 as well. But I'm going to take this unit and try to have them focus a little bit more on range 3. But I do like the impact that comes with him, as well as the fact that his dice are just really good. He's very expensive though. I mean, and I said, this is just an idea of just how expensive this unit could get. You could fill out so much. We're only going to fill out 2 slots on this unit though. We're going to put the heavy weapons in there, and I'm also going to give them Overwatch. And that's going to increase their sentinel range, or their standby range, to 3, because they do want to stand by an awful lot. And also because, I don't need to worry about range 4 as much with them, because they are going to be trying to focus on their range 3 attack, which is still very good. And I'm definitely cool with that. And heck, maybe they can get some range 2 attacks and roll even more dice. But yeah, Overwatch is what I'm definitely going to give them. And that's it. That's where I'm going to stop. That's still 114 points. That's very expensive, but we could make it a lot more expensive than that if we kept filling them out. I'm going to make 2 Death Troopers that way. And what we're going to do after that is we're going to add some core. So starting off with the core, I'm going to go with my favorite, probably one of my favorite units in the game, is the Snow Trooper. We're going to add a Flame Trooper to these Snow Troopers. And the Flame Trooper I absolutely love, because they're really good at just shredding through all kinds of troops regardless of their cover. They've got that spray. And because you want to get into close range, I have very little problem giving them fragmentation grenades. That fragmentation just ends up being really nice. It lets me change from a white die to a red die. They already have the surge to hit, but this gives it that surge to crit, which is also going to be helpful against, honestly, against vehicles, and just in case you need to. It's just kind of like the all-purpose range 1 attack, and I absolutely love it. So we've got the fragmentation grenades we can add to them. I will add the extra Snow Trooper unit, and I'm going to give them a gear option. I'm going to give them recon intel. And the reason for this is just because they're so slow. That Scout 1 is just going to help them kind of make up a little bit for their lack of speed. That just makes them a little bit more threatening. It's not a whole lot, but it's something, and I definitely like it. And we're going to duplicate that unit again. I love the duplicate button because I like to run, groups of 2 sometimes, and that's one theme I'm going with in this particular build, is groups of 2. It spreads out my unit types and gives Krennic's 1-pip the real ability to shine. Having 2 basically identical special forces, I'm going to have 2 identical of this core, but I'm going to have more than 2 core. I'm also going to put 2 Stormtroopers in there, and they're going to be also mirrored of each other. And these Stormtroopers are going to be that range 4 threat. I will give them DLT and an extra Stormtrooper, and that's all I'm going to give them. They'll be a little bit cheaper, but again, it's a little more impact. We're getting some of that. We're also getting a little bit more range 4. Again, kind of emphasizing why I didn't really need the Death Troopers to have the extra config, because I'm going to have a lot of range 4 attacks. I've got a lot of long range dominance in this particular build between 2 Stormtrooper units, each with DLTs, and then 2 Death Troopers, each with DLTs. I think we have a pretty good amount of range 4 stuff. And then, of course, we got our close range with the Snow Troopers. So I think we're looking pretty good for range there. Now, for maximizing range 3, you know, the Death Troopers are very good for that, but I'm going to put the E-Webs in there. We're going to go ahead and put an E-Web in. And one of the things I definitely want to do is I want to give these guys HQ uplink, because that will give me some more predictability with Krennic's 2-pip. That's going to, you know, maybe they want to get a free standby out of that potentially, regardless of where they are. I like that. And I think we're going to go with overcharged generator. No, I think it's barrage generator we want to add. Yeah, I like the one that adds 2 dice. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and put the barrage generator on there. That does give us suppressive. And I know we kind of sacrificed the suppressive off of the Imperial Death Troopers weapon, and I get that, but we're making up for it here by getting extra dice and suppressive. And I want to duplicate that E-Web Heavy Blaster team. We're going to have 2 of those. So we got 2 supports, 2 special forces, 4 core, and 1 commander. We've got a lot of options there for controlling the battlefield. And you know, I think we can really lock down areas between the Death Troopers and the E-Webs. You know, if we get the right, you know, if we get the right conditions and an objective where we can just kind of hold an area down, this offers an awful lot of control. We're pretty strong against vehicles. We're really strong against troopers. We've got a good amount of range 4 options, so I just feel like this is a very, very strong build right here at 800 points. 4 command cards, we're going to probably just go with Krennic's 3 for sure. I think maybe the basic 3 could be good here, but I could also see us, let me see here, let's go ahead and add them. Deploy the garrison, annihilation looms, and oh, there it is, voracious ambition, there we go. I don't want covert observation. Let me see here. This is the, wow, that's taking a long time. Yeah, I don't really need that one, so we'll just put ambush. And pinned down, actually, that could work, but I don't know. It's got to be supports. It's got to be the supports, and so I'm not going to use this one because the E-Webs already have HQ uplink, so I'll just do push. But coordinated fire might be actually useful here because I do have 4 core units. If I lose one, this one loses some of its capability. However, I think it's a gamble I'm willing to take because worst case scenario, you know, I can't give it to all of the core, but I'm still going to be able to, you know, issue an order to a Death Trooper, and the E-Webs will still be able to give themselves an order as well. So I think I will go with coordinated fire. And that's going to do it for this list. So go ahead and, you know, let me know what you guys think down in the description below. And hopefully I can get this build in a battle report to you guys here pretty soon. Yeah, the Death Troopers are pretty fun. Let me know if you think it's a huge mistake not taking the config. And of course, if you do want to change this build out and you do want to give them their config, I think the obvious choice would be just to drop the barrage generators off of the E-Webs and go for that instead. It depends if you want them to be more of a threat at range 4 versus more of a threat at range 3. And I think that's really just a matter of personal preference. Or, of course, you could quite simply just drop a Snow Trooper off of these guys. The Snow Trooper unit is still very, very deadly, even with 1 less Trooper. It's not always mandatory that you take that 5th Trooper. So there we go. And that's all I got for you guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you at Star Wars Celebration. All right, I'll see you guys there. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.